guys? My name is Kwasa Genesis, and thank you for being here. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Lady Brew. How are you doing? Where are you watching from? Hi, guys. Thank you for being here. My name is Kwasa Genesis, and I'm doing a series of different interviews, bringing here people who are into self improvement. And today we have another guest, JP Zhou, and he's going to be coming on soon. Comment where you are watching from, and if you have any questions, any comments, put them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, but thank you. I can hear you.
How are you doing, friend?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
All right. Hello, guys. Thank you, and welcome back to this channel. Today we have our guest, and we'll be talking about self improvement and all other related stuff. If you have any comments, any questions, put them in the chat. So, bro, you're welcome. It's finally nice to meet you.
You too, brother.
And yeah, so the first thing is when I watched your video pop up in my TikTok feed, Sharon Perry. Yeah, if you wanna join, I think maybe you can add me on Instagram at Kwasa Genesis. Then I can send you the link. So I first watched your TikTok on your video on TikTok, and then I liked the message that you were saying. But then what inspired me was how young you are and how young you look like. To find someone like you having that kind of mentality is what sparked me to try and get in touch with you. So welcome, bro. Who are you and where are you from?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the invite. So there's 15 viewers on here. So please be a little patient with me. This is my first time on a YouTube live.
Uh-huh.
And my name is JP Zhou. And the surprising thing when you brought up the TikTok thing, all of
Mm.
those clips, they were videos, just messages to myself. Like they
Mm.
were never meant to be public. It was
Mhm.
one of these days. I finally built up the courage. I was like, what if I just share a little bit of my message to the world? And all of those videos were just reminders for myself that everything I'm going through is
Mm.
preparing me for the future. I am from the West Coast in Canada.
Mm.
Um, and I am currently in university. And what about you, friend?
Uh, yeah, so I just finished my law degree last December, so I'm still waiting for graduation. Yeah, so and I'm in Uganda and I've been in law school, and I'm here trying to create content, trying to spread positivity, trying to share my journey and show people that we all have a fire in us, and at some point we can decide to wake the other person of or the other version of ourselves. So I'm trying like to share the message, be open, be vulnerable, put my out here, and see what happens on the way. So so the first question is, how did you get into? Why did you decide to start documenting your journey?
Um, First, before, um, I had an Instagram page where I was just posting fitness, motivational, just snippets of everything of
Mm,
me just working out, and then that's what started me on this journey. But then through the self reflection, and then while I was looking over at my content, I was like, this doesn't really tell the world who JP Zhao is. I have to bring my own uniqueness into this social media space. And then that's what got me into sharing my own videos of me talking to myself to the world. And then through there, I just wanted to look back a year from now and then see visually of my growth, because it's
mm.
quite what's the word, it's quite inspiring to see the person who I was 2 years ago, because I have some old YouTube videos on this channel with some high school friends, and then it's just me playing around. And then I was looking back at some videos a year ago, and I was like, whoa, that's me. That's great.
Yeah.
What about you? You built up quite the audience on
Uh,
YouTube and on Instagram.
mm. Yeah. So what started it for me was before I started doing YouTube, I was doing like a podcast, and on the podcast is by the way called Regardless, and it's all on all platforms. And on the podcast, I was trying to share my mental health journey because I used to struggle with let's say like depression. I used to my main struggle used to be self-harm thoughts. Like I tried to kill myself many times, and I wasn't successful. So that's why I'm still here. So I started posting on YouTube, and then when Andrew Tate came around, that's when I was doing like reposting his clips on my channel. That's how I was able to grow the audience. But then I reached the point where I was like, I don't want to just be some kid who's just reposting someone else's content. And I decided to start my own self improvement journey, which I started around, I think, 2022, around September. So since then, I have decided to start sharing my own journey. And it's the same thing you have said. When I look back about 2 years ago, when I go through my gallery, I could see some photos where I didn't maybe want to be here, or some photos where I felt like not me. And I can just tell from my photos. So even now, even when some days are still you still feel low, but now I have been able to build a mindset where I feel like I cannot stop bad things from happening to me or from feeling sad or feeling low. But I have been able to build a mindset which can tell me how can I deal with it when this happens. How can I deal with it? Like in December, I think December 1 day ago, that's when I broke up with a girl that I was dating for about maybe 2 months, and I was already going to the gym. So in my mind, I thought that should I stop my self improvement journey and break down and allow all this heartbreak to shatter me down or lead me on a down spiral, or should I be able to keep up with it where I am already and keep on? And here I am right now. It's been 1 year, and it doesn't hurt anymore. So that's how it has all been for me.
that's incredible. I'm very proud of the journey you've been through and how you overcome all of those struggles. Otherwise, I would not have the opportunities to speak to you right now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. So what has been some of the ups and downs for you on this self improvement journey that you have started?
Has been some. I think the part where it's super tough for me is consistency. Um, Now, before I was trying to do all of these major major sprints of just 0 to 100 real quick. I'll try to wake up at 6, cold shower. You know the typical self improvement. But now
Mm,
I've come full circle back to the starting point and be like, oh, in order for me to build the habit of going to the gym, I'll just go and lift 3 sets of one exercise, and then I'll do that. And to connect that to content, I'll just post one reel a day instead
mm,
of before. I was like, what if I post this video, it doesn't get the views it gets. So now, instead of focusing on the outcome of my actions, I'm more focused more on the input side of things. What can I
mm,
actually control? And the things I can control is how good the quality of the clips I'm putting out, how hard I train myself in the
mm,
gym, how tidy my I keep my desk, cause and and just mainly focus on the input. And cause whenever I look at it from like an outcome perspective, I get very anxious because all of that hard work built up to that point, and then you get very disappointed, and then you go back to square one. You're like, oh, I did all of those action, but it didn't equate to any sort of result. So what's the point of trying? Let's
mm.
just sleep in every day. Let's let's just watch and scroll. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I know how it goes. And I have felt that too, bro. Like first time when I went to the gym, I looked at some big guys around the gym, and I thought to myself, if I stay consistent, I'm going to be like that guy in 6 months. Then 6 months go by, and you're still small. 1 year goes by, and then you're still small. So you feel disappointed. You feel demotivated, and that's the thing. I've been watching like some videos about it. Most times you're doing good, you're making money, you're going to school, you're going to work, you're doing side hustles, and everything is working out, and you still find yourself sad. And then you're like, but I'm doing good, I'm doing very well. Why am I still sad? And so one night when I was coming to the gym, I was coming from the gym, and I looked at myself. I was small, I was still thin. So I was like, why am I still going to the gym? Like, why do I still have to keep going? And then in my mind I thought that maybe I'm going to use this 1 year in the gym as just a foundation for my other coming years to go. Maybe I'll be bigger in 2 years or 3 years to come. And that's the consistency thing. So how do you deal with those days when you wake up and you're like, nothing is paying out, nothing is paying off, or nothing is working out yet, and then I've been putting in this work. How do you overcome those days?
For me, I heard a very good advice long time ago. For me, when I deal with those, you change the perspective where you're comparing yourself to. So, connecting to your gym example, the reason why you're disappointed with your progress is you're comparing to a big dude who's probably been in the gym 5 years, 10 years more ahead of you in that journey. And
Mm,
so I shift the perspectives to compare myself, to compare only to myself, because that's the only metric that I can compare myself to. And so instead of comparing myself to a big dude, I compare myself to 5 years ago, 2 years ago, me. I I started going to the gym more consistent recently, and I look back on some of the photos, um, like long time ago. Dude, I used to be like skinny as a twig, and because all this time I'm struggling to gain more weight. I'm a skinnier dude on the lighter side, and it
Mm,
takes me a while to gain weight. But then I switched the perspective into comparing myself from 2 years ago, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing a lot better than what my mind thinks. Because your mind sometimes can play tricks on you
mm,
when you don't see like immediate results. That's why scrolling is so addictive, because
mm.
you're comparing yourself to people who's in business for like 10 years, and then all you see is the flashy Lambos, the mansions, the girls. I'm like, I started doing all of this. I started um doing like an online business. Why is it not equating the outcome? Because you're comparing yourself to these people.
Exactly, bro. That's really powerful, bro, because you have said that I was trying to compare myself with some bigger dude in the gym, where I'm supposed to compare myself with the past me. Like I think that's what they usually say. It is you versus you, not you against the world or the people that you see on the social media. And that's something I have to take, bro. I have to look back 5 years ago or 2 years ago, and I could say like maybe 4 years ago I wanted to kill myself, and now here I am, and I haven't thought about like trying to take my life in a while, which should be a big improvement on my side. That I should be not let my mind play the tricks on me. So
Yeah,
I think that's really a great comparison. Martin in the chat, I see you. Yeah, slow process can play with your mind, but maybe some people say slow progress is better than zero progress or something like that.
yeah,
Okay, another question. I had some questions written down. Mm, okay, what books have you been reading? Because for me, before I got into all this, I think some of the books that helped me, I was reading this book called Atomic Habits, and I was trying to learn how can I change my small habits, how can I change waking up and scrolling. Like every time I used to wake up, I used to do other things. Then I was like, okay, maybe I should, and it would play with my mind. Every time I want to go outside, I want to go outside after I have showered. So I would be like, oh, I haven't showered. So I changed my routine to whenever I wake up, I shower first. So, and then it's done. So that means I have the rest of, I can just go out freely. If someone calls me up or if something comes up at school, I can just run to school. So, what self improvement books have you read, bro?
bro. I can't make this up. I'm gonna get this from my desk. I just
All right.
finished that exact same book.
Mm.
This is a goated book.
Yo, yo, yo.
You see all the highlights. I can't even make this up.
Yeah, we see it, bro.
Yeah, that book is quite powerful, especially that cheat sheet of how you make the habits so obvious, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the small stuff. That's what I was saying at the start. Instead of focusing on going to the gym and doing 5 sets of exercises, I would do just go to the gym. That's the main part. And that book made me realize that the hardest part is just getting started, and then after then all the results will follow. Like for example, when I'm doing my homework, the hardest part is pulling out my notes. The hardest part is opening up my laptop and pulling up all the assignments. And but
Mm.
after then you start typing 2 words, and then it just flows. That is a very powerful book.
Exactly, bro. The same thing you have said about making the habits obvious. Apart from being a law student and creating content here, I also work as a video editor for some company. And most times when I receive like assignments, videos to edit, the hardest part is usually starting, like starting with the name, like my name, Cost Genesis. So the company therefore has a name. So the hardest part is usually downloading the video, putting into the video editor, and starting. But the moment I start and I edit like 2 minutes of the first part of the video, then everything flows right. Like I want to still keep doing it, bro. Okay, another question is. Who inspired you to start this journey or to start documenting your journey? Is it a person? Was it like an event that happened in your life and then you're like, oh, I have to change the trajectory that I'm on right now if I want to be a better version of myself?
Let me, let me think about it. You're hitting me with hard hitting questions I don't want to give just cookie cutter answers to dig deep. Um, I think I think it started a couple years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
was in a similar boat. I've never shared this before. It's quite vulnerable. I had I had quite like the negative experience where I considered self harm, like just the thoughts that arose in my mind, and then through that process of reflecting and opening up about my past, I realized I'm ready. I'm ready at the lowest point of my life, and the only the only path is up. And it took one person, a mentor who's quite close to me. I've known her for a very long time. She she instilled that positivity into me. She showed me the potential and what I can actually achieve. Because when you're looking into yourself and doing self reflection, you can often get stuck in a cycle of just self harm, just negative. But then when you're seeing it on the outside, I realize everything is actually benefiting me. It was only through that self reflection process where I realized that I can do much more with my life than just take it away. There's a lot more time on this earth to leave an impact, to show the world who I am. And through that I started going to the gym. So, and the gym kind of built up that self-confidence I needed to begin socializing. Because when I was growing up, English is my second language, so I was quite shy
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want to come out with like an accent or portraying myself to all these kids. So that kind of left like a negative impact. But then when I was applying for universities and scholarships, I was reflecting on that, how learning English, that process, made me more resilient. It made me the person who who is standing right here. And those things, instead of looking as a negative, it further drive me into becoming the version who I want to become. And then furthermore, in the reflecting process, I made a promise to myself where I want to live a life of authenticity, of just truly being myself. I don't want to live up to anyone's standards of doing the typical norm. So, and then I started, that's the whole driving factor behind the content thing, because I want to document my process. And it's only through repetition and all the videos I put out where I truly find who I am, truly find my inner voice. Because when I was applying to scholarships, it didn't take one scholarship to get to the place. It took multiple tries to find that inner voice, to find that inner self confidence that says to the world that I am who I am, and there's nothing that can do to change that, and there's no external factor that will take away my voice, my uniqueness, because that's who I'm designed and built to be. And that's my main driving factor for this self improvement. And throughout all of these tiny habits, tiny actions, you kind of see the potential and see where you're heading. Because now you have a vision, now you have a goal to hit. You're no longer walking through life without with just la la la, I'm going there because society tells me to, or
Mm.
because my parents, the mentor or whichever that tells me to. Now I'm portraying myself through my inner compass, through the values, and if it doesn't align, then I just stop it right away. And yeah, all of that just leads back to here.
Yeah, but that was a very detailed journey on how you were on a downward spiral, then you had to change it to go on an upward spiral, and that's the same thing. Before I started going to the gym, I um, I woke up one day and I think it was around 3 a.m. And then I asked myself a question, and I was like, "Is this how my life is going? Just to be like this, like how I am right now?" And I already had my friends who are already going to the gym. I texted one of them in the night. I said, "Bro, can I come to the gym with you, please?" And I had no money at that time. And they said, "Yeah, bro, you can come with us. Get some money, then we'll add for you, we'll top up for you, and you can start coming. You can start coming with us to the gym." And being able to go to the gym, it kind of helps you not only to get the gains or cut the weight, but it also develops your discipline, your consistency, and then you can take away that consistency. You can apply it to school, you can apply it to relationships or any other situations or even work, and that's what I've been able to do. But and like you have said, knowing that oh I can do this, it's the same thing. I realized that oh maybe I cannot be like someone like Andrew Tate or other people I was watching online, but I believe I could be a better version of myself. Like, what, who, how could I look like if I kept working on for 2 more years? So those were some of the questions I started asking myself. Oh, what can I be? What can I achieve if I don't give up? What can I get if I keep working out? What can I get if I keep putting out content? Maybe I could go viral, because they say that try when you're not trying. When you try, you could fail at some point. But then they also say, and not trying is already failure. So you could still try and fail, but even not trying, you have failed already, bro. And now I'm trying to like find people who are on the same journey, try and hear out their stories, see what's going on. Because I'm from Uganda, Africa. It's a small country in East Africa, and most people they think I think most people could think that oh maybe self improvement is for only maybe people from Europe, and most people here in my country are not into like kind of like self improvement. How can I be better? And I'm trying to create that narrative that oh you can come from Uganda, you can come from anywhere, and still try and make it in life and share the positivity. So another question that I think I'm going to ask is how do you handle failure, bro? Like how do you handle it?
Wait, but before I answer the question, I just want to add on onto your previous points, and
Mm,
forgive me if I butcher your name.
no.
Kawasa,
Yeah, Kwasa.
Kwasa.
Yeah,
Uh,
right.
I really like the point where you said about the gym, because to me is an is a similar experience where it's not about the weights I'm moving. It's not about going there. It's more of like the part where I can where I'm actually in control of my my well-being. Because the reason why I started, now I think about it more often. The reason why I started having all of these negative thoughts was, this was during COVID time, like March 2020.
Mm,
I finally built the consistency of going to the gym consistently, and I finally felt that potential. I finally felt the self growth, but all of a sudden it was just cut.
mm,
That's where the self cycle started. And when you brought up, you don't have to be the next Andrew Tate or whichever. I kind of resonated with that. Is that the the whole thing with the content is that you don't want to replicate anyone else. You want to be unique.
Mm.
And I while I was looking up your page, I was gonna tell you in person. I really like the quote you have on your Instagram bio. It was like, "No one's coming to save you. You are actually in control
Mm.
of everything." So there's that. And the question was, how do you handle failure?
Yeah, yeah. How do you do with failure, bro?
That I'm still trying to that I'm still trying to uh figure out, because it's an ongoing process. I don't want to stand in front of this channel, in front of this live stream, thinking that I know it all. I'm the go-to for wisdom. But
Mm.
I the reason why I want it to come on is more of like, think of me as like a mirror. The things I say is like a reflection of your own thing. I just want it to be there in that process to get you started on the self-reflection. I don't want it to to stop at me where it stops you from gaining knowledge. I just want to be that starting point. You ever play those video games where the the character is like, here is your quest, but
Yeah.
you have to take in charge. Like,
Mm.
for the people watching, I I don't know it all. I don't want to be arrogant and egotistical. I'm still learning, but
Mm.
it's up to the person who watches the videos, who watches the content, that gets them thinking, be like, "Oh, maybe I do have that potential. Maybe I can do more of my life." So that's where the search continues. And in terms of failure, I kind of just push through. And like that TikTok I made to myself is that every failure, everything, think of it like XP in a video game. I used to play a lot of video games when I was in the past, so there's going to be some connections, but
Mm.
every single experience, it helps you level up in
Mm.
in this life. And don't take it personally. Maybe it just wasn't for you. Maybe it was given to you at the wrong time. And so
Mm.
you have to evaluate yourself in this process. Don't put the blame on whichever failure you're getting, but rather look inwards and be like, "Oh, I could have done this better. I could have fixed up this part of the website. Oh, I could have wrote an application better and articulated myself better." Use it as like reflection tool of where you could have done better. That's why I think of failure. What about yourself?
Uh, Now I used to think that every time I tried out and I failed at some things, then I would give up or be like, "Oh, this is not mine. This is not meant for me." And there's one of your videos on TikTok where I watched it, and you talked about, maybe I think it was being accepted into a school, and you said to yourself that, what if I maybe could get into this school or something like that. And I faced the same issue last year before I tried to apply for some scholarships from Europe. Even after I did the application, there is this voice that would come in my mind, and I would be like, why should this school from USA take me, or why should they even accept me? Which is something that I have grown up trying to deal with, which is like self rejection or self hate, where you feel like you're not worthy of these opportunities. And it could even be related to maybe like starting a relationship. You're like, oh, how am I worthy for this girl? Or why should even this girl talk to me? Which is a negative thing. And most times you try to even see yourself like failing even before you fail or even before you try. So these days I'm trying to learn that failure is part of life, bro. No matter what you do, you could fail in a class, at work, at different things, but you keep moving forward, because that's the only way. And even failing, it actually means that you are already trying, because you cannot fail if you're not trying to do something or to become better at something. So Most times when I wake up and I feel like I don't want to go to the gym or I don't want to go to study, I think I'm already winning because I'm already going to the gym. I'm not like someone who is like, I don't want to start even going to the gym. So I think the failure thing is it's part of life, you know, just like you wake up and you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah, I really like your point. You're a wealth of wisdom. And the the whole I like the first TikTok I posted on there, I never expected to get more than 100 views. Like it was never my intention to go viral per se, and I've dealt with my fair share of self negative thoughts, and the and I just posted it on like the back end, thinking that for people who watches the TikToks, because I at the end of the day, I want to be that beacon, be that light, be that reminder for people that it's not all negative. Life can be sunshines and rainbows if you work for it, because all of your hard work will pay off in one way or the other. And I like the fact that you mentioned scholarship applications, because I went through a fair share while trying to go to university, because I've always wanted to go university, but I had no money. I had no means of getting there. And when I was
Mm,
first introduced that concept of scholarships, I was like, that's my golden key. That's my ticket out. And even through all the rejections letter I've got, it helped me. It made me better.
mm,
And I just put those videos out to keep reminding people that it will pay off.
exactly, bro. Because yeah, so good news is that I finally got the scholarship, but which is yeah, which is really great. But I related with your video of saying that, oh, what if I could be accepted into the school? And I think that still has to come with confidence, trying to build your confidence and be like, oh, it could be the same thing when you're approaching a girl and you're like, oh, maybe I'm the man or I'm something like that. And being confident, I think, also comes from hard work, knowing that, oh, you've been putting in the work, so you're confident that it might actually work out. Okay, so another question is, what are some of the practices that you do that kind of help you to stay on this journey or like stay on the upward spiral?
I've always lived by this philosophy.
Mm.
Doing stuff that you hate so you can enjoy the stuff that they're somewhat mundane. Like after reading that book, I wanted to wake up earlier, and then I start off my days doing some like 10 burpees, and I hate burpees. Burpees are definitely not it. Like the last thing I wanted to do waking up is
And puppies.
is burpees. So I start off with that. I don't really have much of a structure or a routine. It's still I'm I'm trying to build that consistency in, but I just look at what I have to do for the day. I just get it done as quick as possible, and sometimes it like school gets in conflict with trying to make my content and editing and all that, because it takes out a segment, and school definitely takes out a majority of the time block. So when I'm trying to navigate it and balance it, how do you what does a day look like to you?
So I think last year, because that's when I was in my first year of law school, I would usually wake up, then go to school, and law school is very, very not so easy. So I would spend about maybe like 6 hours or 7 hours in school, and then when I come back from school, I go to the gym for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Then I come back home. I have to stay on my phone, edit something, Sometimes I have an assignment from school, no, from school or sometimes from work. Then I have to edit the video, send it back, which usually takes some time. But like you said, that was my day. So I wasn't. I had to cut off like games, hanging out with friends sometimes because I knew, oh, if I hang out with my friends for maybe 1 hour, then I might miss the 1 hour I was supposed to go to the gym. So I had to. Yeah, now you're looking very nice. So I had to cut out some habits because when you start this kind of self improvement journey, there are sacrifices you have to make, whether it's video games, whether it's hanging out with your friends. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, don't hang out with your friends at any point, but there's sometimes when when hanging out is not necessary, it's kind of like a wastage of time. So that, and now school is done. I'm waiting for graduation, like in June. So now the school is away. So now mostly I have just go to the gym, edit a few videos from my work assignment, and have the rest of my day to see what's going on, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So that's how
and
a daily routine looks like.
yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. For law school in Africa, did you have to go through like the LSATs? Is it like undergrad program or a master's?
No, it's an undergrad program that you take for about 4 years, and then you add like one more year to which is like it's called an LDC, Law Development Center, where you go to get the practicing certificate. But the school it takes about 4 years after high school. You could do for 4 years.
Oh, that's so much better than here. Because in order to get into law school in the West, you have to go through four years of undergrad, whichever program you decide, and then you have
Mm,
to take a test to get into law school, which is usually a master's or a graduate program. But
mm.
you just go straight in, which is more time efficient on that way.
Yeah, and also we also take the tests. You know, the text after high school, you could take the special tests to see if you qualify to be in the law school. But some schools take it, others don't take it. So most times you kind of go direct into college, and then you choose to study law. So you go with it.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, what are you studying at university?
I was in criminology, and then I transferred to business admin. For like for for me with schooling, um, from my scholarship efforts, it paid off.
Mm.
I'm on a full ride scholarship,
Uh,
but that also comes with some drawbacks. Now I have all the freedom to pick whichever faculty I wanted to get into. Because before, when I was in high school, I was thinking, oh, I get a scholarship and I go to university, but
mm,
if I don't, I was planning for the worst case scenario. I just take a gap year and explore my options and just work and try to find out what fits with me. But
mm,
thankfully, plan A worked out, but
mm,
that also comes with the drawback. But I don't want to seem too ungrateful for this opportunity. Now I have to figure out what I actually want to do with my post secondary degree, and I'm thinking about stuff on the fly. This works, this doesn't work, scratch that. Now I'm building the bridge as I go.
yeah, yeah, but it makes sense. And yeah, so for me now, I'm done like with law school, and I'm trying to see if maybe I could go to USA and study for another like a master's program, maybe, and maybe I can become a lawyer in USA. Or after having the masters, then when I come back here in Africa, it could put me like on a higher level. So that's fun. So what kind of advice would you give to someone who is watching this or who will watch this later, and they are wondering like, oh, how can JP start his own journey? Because like you said, like you talked about, most times the starting is always the hardest. So what kind of advice would you give to someone, like how do you start, or how should they change their trajectory that they are already on to a positive one?
How do they start? And I'm just thinking on the basis what my
Mm,
younger self would want to hear. That honestly, just take an hour out of your day, put your phone away, and just sit in silence in a room with a notebook, and
mm,
this is what I recommend. And write down all the activities you're doing on like a day-to-day basis, so you can see where things are good for you and where things are taking away from your time and your energy. Because if you don't track something, it gets unnoticed, because you don't know which part is wrong and which part is good. And I don't want to give like the holy grail. You have to wake up earlier, because everyone's different. You can
mm,
you can wake up at 9 a.m. and still get the same work output. And another advice is that during the free time, don't don't waste it. The time is very sacred and limited, and that's the only asset you have. And just don't waste your time doing, through your evaluation, you'll find out you're doing stuff that's taking away from your time, and just try to minimize that. And another thing is that don't don't stay up too late. I value my sleep a lot,
mm,
and you don't want to give up your your sleep for your success, because later on in life, after all your hard work, you're gonna look back and be like, oh, wish I had the proper health, I have the proper body to
mm,
enjoy this success. Because to me, it's more valuable if I because I myself as like the business. I think of myself as as the supercar, for example. And
mm,
the things I input and consume will help me achieve the goals I want. So overall, just evaluate your life currently and see where you can do better. Because I can't give all the proper answers. Everyone's different.
mm.
And see where you can do better, where you can cut down, and don't negate your health. And that's about that's about it, honestly. I don't have much.
Yeah, I think the thing you were saying, it kind of resonates with something that Jordan Peterson said, and he said that like you said, like sit alone, take away the phone, and re-evaluate what you're doing. What do you do on a daily basis, and what could you change? What could you add? And I think something that Peterson said, which was like, sit on your bed one day and then ask yourself, what stupid things am I doing on a daily basis?
Yeah.
And then you could start from there. Most times, I used to have this excuse too. When you ask most people in the university, that, oh, what are you doing? Most times they just say, oh, I'm just a student. I'm a college student. I'm a uni student. As if you go to school or to university the whole day or the whole time. And then I'm here, I'm working as a video editor. I also work as a legal assistant for some law firm in New York. I go to the gym, I create content, and I do all these things, and I'm still able to get enough time to go to school and be able to still pass my classes. So that's the same idea you have talked about. Sit down. Most people are like, oh, I don't have time. No, bro, you have time, but you haven't figured it out that, oh, I have time. For these 2 hours I spend on TikTok or I spend playing games, maybe I could go and lift a bunch of weights. For this, maybe I could learn something. I could learn a skill. So I think that's really resonates, and that could be the best advice, because when you're young, you have energy, you have time, you have resources, your body heals faster, and all stuff like that. And maybe 4 years, 5 years from now, when you look at yourself, you would be thankful that you spent like these all these years, like treating your health better, going to the gym, and it's going to pay off, because you don't want to be rich at 40 and you have diabetes, you're suffering from obesity, and so things that you do right now, they kind of help you to of the person that you become in the future. It's kind of like what you invest now, everything that you have, your time, energy, and then it will pay off maybe when you're 40, when you're 30. You don't want to be at 40 and then you're trying to get the six pack, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have anything that you want to say, or where people can follow you on your channel, your TikTok, so that they can follow your journey, because I like the journey that you are on right now, and I believe that you have like profound knowledge that other people would benefit from following your journey, or even watching what you did, because sometimes you get more inspired by watching someone like you around the same age or in the same range than watching someone who is old and then he's telling me, oh, I used to do this, I used to do this. I would rather watch someone like JP, how you're doing with your journey. Then I would be, oh, maybe I could be like JP, or maybe I could do what he's doing, or I could be better than that.
Well, I appreciate the platform you provided me.
Mm,
My Instagram is JP Zhou official,
mm,
and TikTok is the same, and YouTube is the same. I'm a bit old fashioned like that. JPZHOU official, and that's where you can find me just documenting my process and my journey along this. Yeah,
mhm.
I appreciate you inviting me
Yeah.
on here. I didn't expect anything from me posting the TikTok, and next thing you know, some
Mm,
Kawansa, no,
mm. Kosa.
Kwasa, Kwasa,
Yes.
Kwasa. Just just share your journey with the world. Who knows? Maybe Kawansa will invite you onto the podcast next and
Yeah.
talk
And
about that.
so, what are your goals this year? It's I think it's still Feb. So, what things are you looking forward to achieve or to do in this 2024?
My some of my goals for this year is just to maximize all of my opportunities and all of my time I have, and not waste as much time as before in 2023. And another goal I share is produce more than I consume.
Hmm,
That's the main goal, because I don't want to keep wasting my time watching someone else's life. And to people who are watching, you shouldn't do that either. So I'm gonna share my journey, and come just like you, I'm excited to see where this would lead me, because
mhm,
this all of this stuff is still kind of new, because before I wasn't sharing this side of me where I'm talking from my own experience. I was just going with the trends and all that with the motivational reels. So stay in touch, keep tuned. I can't tell you much yet, because I
Yeah.
don't much, but we'll keep in touch, and perhaps if you end up in the States, you can come up to Canada sometime.
Yeah, yeah, sure, bro. I think it would be interesting to link up in person. And that's what I usually tell some of my subscribers in my Discord and some stuff like, yeah, bro. If we all keep working hard, then we will meet at the top of the mountain. That's what I like
Yeah,
to say. Exactly, bro. So, thank you for being here and thank you for sharing our journey. And bro, keep on your journey. No matter what happens, now you already know the way. Like you have already seen the light. You have seen what you can be, what you can achieve in 1 year of consistency. So imagine what you can achieve in 4 years, 5 years to come, bro.
yeah. Thank you so much for the invite, for
Hmm.
me to speak about my experience. This is relatively new for me, so apologize for the stutters and
No, it's
the repetitiveness. Perhaps in the future I could be a podcaster, but we'll see where the future takes us. And
Mhm.
I'm very proud of your journey, as I said before, with the law
Mm.
school and the audience you built up. So I'm excited to see your journey as well. and I'll keep in touch every now and then. Be like, "How you doing, brother?"
Yeah, for real, bro. Even me, I'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch, and hopefully someday we'll do a stream when we are somewhere together, not from a different continent, and I'm also in a different continent.
Yeah,
All right, bye.
yeah,
I'll see you next time. I think you can just turn off the live, then yeah, we'll keep in touch.
yeah. It's my pleasure to be on here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too, bro. Hi guys, thank you for watching, and yeah, so here we are. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, so Ted, Ella, Sharon. Thank you, Lady Bro. Yeah, if you've been watching, comment. Let me know where have you been watching from. Thank you, Martin. Thank you for watching, bro. Thank you guys for watching. If you wanna say something, comment or where you're watching from. Thank you for being here. We had the special guest, and now he's gone, so you can rewatch the whole live to find out what we talked about, some positive message. And as you know, this channel is all about self improvement. How can we be better versions of ourselves? Or what can you be if you do not give up right now? Or what can you achieve if you don't give up right now? So that's what all this channel is all about.